Bonjour, welcome to my intro video on pattern making. This is the first video of a series of video I'll be making, and I am starting with the tools that I use for garment making in general. The first tool I want to start with is my tape here. I used to use this to measure myself. I would cut a piece of tape, put it over my tape measure here. I had removed my metal piece and I put the tape over it, put it over my nape or wherever it is that I would need to take my own measurement and relax at the same time. I would use the tape for. And next tools I want to mention are my clover clips. I have a bunch. I still do that actually. I would clip this over my measuring tape with the garment edge that I'm wearing. Say it's my center front, I would clip this over with my tape at my center front and then just relax and then take my measurement that way. That's very useful. I use this for my nape, for my back as well. I do like using these. Of course, you need a garment that allows for you to be able to use them, but they're very useful. Next tool I want to mention is this piece of yarn. What I did, this is my own personal measuring tape. I want to use it for myself, not that I sew for others like that, but I have other measuring tape for if I'm taking someone else's measurement. What I do with this, I use my notcher. I almost forgot what this was called. I use my notcher, fold this and cut a hole, and then I put my yarn through and tie it. I only leave it for until I'm done taking my measurement, so it's easy to take out. So I have it here. So how I use this, I will show you how to use this in the next video, but I put this at my nape and then bring the yarn around my neck like a necklace, hold it in the front, and then relax and take my measurement that way. I'll show you how to use that soon. And of course, my measuring tape is the next tool that I use for garment making. You need a measuring tape, of course, so that's my measuring tape. And next, and the notcher, I use this to notch my pattern paper. Well, I don't use it, but I used to use it. But this is useful to notch your dots, notches at your armholes, wherever you need to mark a notch. Whatever notch you need to mark, that's the tool for it on your pattern paper. Makes it easy to trace your mark actually. And next tool, this is my owl. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't use this much anymore, but when I used to use commercial pattern, I use this to mark my pocket placement. Some people use it for their dot placement. So the pattern paper would be over your fabric and you would push through and create a mark that way, and it would end up looking something like this where you mark your fabric. So that's what this is for. And next tool, this is my tracing wheel. It looks very used, but I barely use it. I used to use it in the past, but this is for marking your dots. So you would use this with a carbon paper. That's very useful for that. Your carbon paper would be in between your fabric, and your pattern paper would be over the fabric, and you trace your marking from the pattern paper and it would go right through your fabric. So that's very useful. It's also useful for marking the end of your dots on your pattern paper when you fold something, to be able to find the correct line. Let's say you're marking your bust dots. I will show you how to use that eventually. Next, I use this compass for marking contour lines, my bust contour lines. That's what I use this for. I will show you how to use that, how to use it, of course, eventually. And next, I use my tape here for when I am manipulating my pattern block. So when I'm turning my bodice block into a different design, that's what I use to help me do that. And next, I use my pins instead of my pattern weights. This is quite heavy. My pattern weights are supposed to be used to keep your paper and fabric in place when you're cutting your fabric from your pattern, but I don't use them. I use my pins instead. I pin my paper to my fabric and then I cut. And then I use my chalk to mark my markings, my dots. I will show you how to use that. Next, my marking tools. I don't have my Sharpie with me. I don't know where I placed it, but I do normally use a Sharpie. This is a heat erasable marker or transfer pen, my pencil, my pen. It depends on whether I want to use a fine line to create my pattern. That's why I use the different tools. And next are my cutting tools. I have my rotary cutter. This is to be used with a healing mat, a self-healing mat. I don't have my mat with me. I left it somewhere and I don't have it with me. But you would use this with a self-healing mat and cut through. I use this to cut satin, silk, and leather, whatever it is that I need a precise cut in. I don't want to use my scissors for, and this comes in handy. And next, that's my fabric scissor. It is quite sharp. I got it from Amazon. I love this. I only use it for my fabrics. And then I have my paper scissors. This used to be a kitchen scissor from my knife set, but I knew I wasn't gonna use it for my kitchen, so it became my pattern scissors, my paper scissors. And next, I have my pattern paper. This is the one I have at this moment. I do prefer to have the white pattern paper because it's easy to trace on when I use a Sharpie, but this is what I have for now, and it will be convenient for me to show you how I use my tracing wheel with this, especially when I'm making my torso block and different blocks that I am changing the design for. But this is my pattern paper, uni pattern paper for pattern making. And next, or lastly, my rulers. This is a French curve ruler for your armholes, your sleeves, and then I have my hip curve ruler for my bottoms. I have a straight edge ruler. I love this ruler because I'm able to square out very easily using it. I can do it with this as well, but this is very slim, it's flexible, it's easier. And this is my regular ruler. And that's it for the tools that I use for garment making. Stay tuned till the next video for where I show you how to measure yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye.